Hello, welcome back to the Spider's Web, and as you've seen from the first part of the video, we started painting these fellows. This is how it's looking now in the video you're about to see, which is the second part of it. In fact, I did this video and the previous one were all done as one video, and I've split it as close as I could to halfway. And this is where we basically left off. So what it's done is, in the first video we did a lot of the base coating. In this second video we finished off on the base coating, and then we applied the washes to dull everything down. That's what we've done. So while I've been waiting for all the washes to dry, I've been keeping myself busy. And what I've done is I've got myself a piece of black plasticard. If you don't know what plasticard is, the best way to describe it, I suppose, is it's the stuff that they make credit cards out of. But it comes in really great for modelling, for building models and stuff. But in my case, I'm using it to make movement trays. And what I've done is I've glued all the horses on. Obviously left a space for that one to go nestling in there, like so. When he's finished, he will go in, he will slot in there. And how I've done that basically is just position all the horses to the front edge of the plasticard and place these side by side, and then go from the back, done exactly the same, and then just trimmed around where needed. And that's basically means that when I've finished that, when I finish painting your man here, he gets glued on. And what I will do then is get another piece of plasticard, place it on, and build up the edges with these things. You may recognise them as coffee stirrers. These are how I build my what do we call it? Movement trays. So I wanted something secure to hold these onto, and then I will be, as I say, gluing them down on another piece to make it just a little bit taller, and I can build up here. Once it's all built up, I will be covering it with the sand up to a point around the front, and then with the what do we call it? It's not pumice, it's like a textured paint from Vallejo, towards the back, and I'll be going over it all again here in the middle to blend it all in rather nicely. So you won't see much of this area where the you won't see the lines in between where the bases end, and you won't see this type of thing where the base that the horse is sat on or stood on, this part. You won't see that little ridge there from the base of the horse. So that's what's going to be happening, but first of all we need to get cracking with painting our little chap, and that's where this video comes in. So we're going to take it up to the parts where it's at now, where it's all been base coated and all been washed, and then we can carry on from there. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Here we go. with some white scar, and we want a lot more of this than we do the red. The red is such a very strong, powerful colour. It does swamp out other things, as you can see with the amount of white I put in there. It's still a fairly dark pink colour, which is not what we really want. So I'm going to add a little bit of water in with that as well, just to make it malleable, and then we can go over all the areas where it's sinew. There we go. And I think that bit there is, don't have it on that one. Trust me to find the one that doesn't have it. Yes, it is. That bit there is muscle and sinew, so we'll do that one. Just move you a little bit over, and then we'll carry on this side. And with this we're just trying to find all the areas that are where the flesh is removed, and you're seeing all the tissue beneath the flesh. And once we've done this, we will be what's the word I'm looking for? Going back, because there are areas where there is flesh still hanging on the model, and I really need some more pink mixed up. There wasn't as much, or there's more rather, of the sinewy stuff than I thought there was going to be. So again, with the Evil Sun Scarlet and the white, there we go, bit of water again just to keep it malleable. And one of these days I will start using that wet palette that I bought for doing this, but I keep forgetting about it, and I start off and then I remember I've got it. I found it the other day. It was in my bedroom, in my wardrobe, mixed in a bag which I hadn't opened for a while. But at least I have it. And here we go. A bit more of the sinewy stuff down here on the back legs. Much more here on the thighs. And someone's going to turn around and say they aren't thighs, they're fetlocks or whatever the hell they may be. Look, it's the fat part of the leg, it's the thigh. How have I done underneath the others? I've done that as flesh. The one that has the nicky thing, I've done that almost sinew underneath as well. Not that it makes any difference because you're not going to see much of it, but there we go. If you don't get a good coverage of this, don't worry about it. I'm not one of these who exports the necessity of having perfect coverage of a paint Because sometimes I like the effect that a poor coverage can give after a wash has gone over it, because you get different shades in the flat surface from the wash after it's gone over a poorly covered paint job. You know, so you know, I know some people are very, very strict in what they're doing with the painting. I'm not one of these people. You may have gathered in my other videos. These are rank and file troops. They're going to be glued down. They aren't going to be examined in any great detail. They're here just to make my army look ace, and that's what they are doing. And as such, they're not going to be painted as though they are full display models. They're going to be painted as they are meant, or for the job they're meant to perform, which is, as I say, bolster my rank and file troops for my undead army. I mean, obviously, because I'm not doing it to a great level of detail, you know, doesn't mean to say that you have to copy me. I'm doing this to show you how easy it is if you've absolutely no experience whatsoever. That's why I've said time and time again on this, if I can just inspire you to pick up the paint, and if showing you how the results you can get from a badly painted model will inspire somebody with not the confidence to pick up a brush and paint it. If it inspires somebody in that situation to pick up a brush and paint it rather, then I think I've done, I think the aim of these videos has been achieved. So that's the reason why I'm not going into any great detail on these. They're just being done in a very, very basic way. And you probably, anybody who's watched previous videos are probably sick to death of me hearing me say stuff like that. But it's really for people who have just seen this video and want to know the reasons why I'm doing certain things. I just want to show you it's not an arcane scientific process to paint a model. You get your paint, you get your brush, you put your paint on your brush, you slap it on the model. Simple ways like this can be very effective. But with while we're waiting for the horse to dry, let's do the red bits on our chappy, shall we? Where's my little finer detail brush? There we go. Now I want a little bit of red on there, and we're going to be doing the body of his outfit, like so. And yes, I know these are dead, or undead rather. These have been warriors that have been killed in battle. Their clothing has been laid in the tomb with them. So why on earth am I doing bright colours? Well, you'll see when you look at the others, they don't stay bright for long. That one doesn't look very bright, does it? Yeah, you'll see what happens. as time goes on with these. I'm going to leave that bit, that little ribbon around the head of the shaft there. I'm going to leave that. Behave. Family show, this one. If you're going to make jokes on that comment, then please keep them to yourself. Yeah, so anyway, as I was saying, you put the bright colours on as a basic, well, not as a basic, as a base colour. So you're basically just colouring in and blocking in colour at this precise moment. That is all we're doing. You're just getting the colours where we want them. There will be shading, there will be highlighting to come, so it will look darker and duller, and in some cases, once we've dulled it down, we will then go towards making it brighter. Yes, indeedly doodly. Put the base coat on, then we make it duller, darker, and then we make certain parts a little bit brighter. Are there any other areas on this that I read? I don't think so. No, there isn't. The rest of it's all blue. Alrighty then. Is there anything on the horse that is red? No. So that's the red bit used up. Now, we're going to carry on now with the blue areas. Once I can get all the red paint off this brush. There we go. And the blue that we're going to be using is, when I can find it, Altdorf Guard Blue. There we are. Now, I hope you can hear this as I'm shaking the paint. I hope you can actually hear it rattle about in there to show it's liquid. So it's, as I say, Altdorf Guard Blue. All the paints I use at the moment are from Citadel. I am thinking about investing in a airbrush setup. It's going to mean quite a bit of a change for me. Because I've never ever used an airbrush in my life, and I keep seeing the effects that you can get with an airbrush and all the stuff that you can get to make certain effects with airbrushes, and I'm quite impressed, and I really do want to give them a try. Okay, so that belt there, as you can see, I'm hoping you can see, goes right. This belt here, I hope you can see. Oh, it's still grey, that's going to be metal. This part here as well is going to be metal. So I'm going to go over that now. Once I've cleaned my standard brush off. I'm going to go back to the fine brush and back to the Warplock bronze. There we go. Once I've done these, we're going to leave it to dry. In fact, we're going to do one last stage after we've done all this, before we leave it to dry, and that is the stage where we put the depth into this and all the shadow areas. Now again, if you've not seen my videos before, you may have an idea. Though again, you may not have no idea whatsoever of what I'm talking about, but you soon will. It's a very easy process, as I try. An oil painter who I'm following for a while on YouTube and on Facebook actually has a wonderful phrase that he uses for when he's trying to explain how he does things in a simple way. I paint smart, not hard. That's Wilson Bigford. He's a very similar kind of painter to, or does a very similar style of artwork to the legend that is Bob Ross. It's that kind of thing. Not a similar kind of style, but it's that kind of painting technique that he uses. There's a very good, he does some very good paintings. Have a look for him on YouTube if you're interested. Like Bob Ross, it makes it look really easy. But it's the kind of thing where I enjoy watching that style of painting. But when I've tried it myself, I've been absolutely useless at it. So I've been doing stuff wrong, but as to what, I don't know. But there we go. Yeah, that's just me, I suppose. So that is our metals done. The horse, or the main part of the horse's body, is done, except for, oh no, we haven't got the I've missed a bit with the blues as well. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I'm getting worse at this. I'm blaming the cold I've got. My observation techniques my observation skills are slipping because my head's pounding and I feel as though my head isn't actually connected. At the moment I'm doing this video just because I want to, rather than it's a good idea to do so at this precise moment in time. Anyway, enough. Let's get the blue areas finished off where they need to be. I'm going to have to go over the red on the feathery head piece again, and we're going to have to do the skin of the horse. Now, as you may or may not know, horse flesh, I believe, is a very pale colour, like a grey colour, very similar to dog flesh. Now, I may be wrong on that. What I've heard. Please don't correct me if I'm wrong. So, as I said, this is just covering up on the bits that I've managed to rub off by holding onto its headpiece. But now what I want to do is mix the colours for the horse. And as I say, usually I have heard that it's usually like a very palish grey, almost white. I'm going to use Rhinox hide for this. Okay, a little bit of Rhinox hide on the palette. Okay, Altdorf blue, Altdorf Guard blue, which you've seen before. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, what the hell are you playing at? And that gives like a bluey grey colour, surprisingly enough, as you may be able to see. And then I'm going to go into that with the white scar, which again you've seen before, to make the grey. The reason I'm doing that is because I don't have much black left, so I'm mixing it up this way to make the grey. As you can see, it makes a nice, in this case, a browny grey. I could use one of the like Administratum Grey or Dawnstone or something like that, but every now and again I like to use one that I mix up myself. You get a much nicer colour that way sometimes. Okay, so horsey, come here. And now we are going with this colour of grey, which is a little bit paler than the colour it already is, that we used as a primer. Now the primers I'm using at the moment are bought from a local car parts store here in England called Halfords. It's just the Halfords grey acrylic primer. They also have the red acrylic primer, the white acrylic primer, and the black acrylic paint as well. The black one isn't a primer, but if I want to do anything black, I go over obviously with the grey first and then give it a blast with the black. I thought there was going to be much more I needed to do with the flesh than there actually is, which is why I've mixed a hell of a lot of the grey. Oh well, never mind. There doesn't seem to be much, just that bit around the front of its arms. Yes, I said arms, the front parts. If you're standing up, they'd be arms, they'd be legs. Yeah. Alrighty then, so that's the base colours done. I'm going to do now also the base, this bit on the back of the shield in this grey as well. I don't know what the other shields have, how I've done the other shields. Yes, okay. Because it's like moulded and patterned to look like it's made of wood, so I'm assuming it's a leather coated wooden shield. The leather being this part here where it's all nice and flat, and the wood at the back. Whether that's right or not, I don't know. But now it's time. Notice how I'm not doing the shaft of the spear either. I'm going to do that when we come back. But first we are going to, as I say, put some depth into these, into this base coating, and there are a couple of ways we can do this. The way I like to do is by using washes when I can find the ones I want. Okay, now a wash is very watered down paint. It's not the normal paint. You can use normal paints as a wash, just put a lot of water with it. But these are the Citadel shade colours. We have Carroburg Crimson, which is the red, Agrax Earthshade, which is a brown, and Drakenhof Nightshade, which is a bluey grey, very much like if you're painting pictures and using acrylics or watercolours, Payne's grey, very similar colour to that. And what we're going to be doing with that is slapping it all over. Well, we're putting the red where there is red, we're putting the blue where there's blue, we're putting the brown everywhere else. So, we'll start off with the blue, and we're going over on the blue areas, making sure that it pulls up in the recesses and keeps away from the highlights, not the highlights, the high points rather of the moulding. By doing this, you're actually darkening first of all the blue that's there, but you're also adding the shadows, which is a very easy way of doing it. You could, if you wanted to, use paints, do a very dark blue paint at first as a base colour, and then just do lighter and lighter variants with each different step. I prefer to use like a mid-range blue as the base coat, and then use Drakenhof Nightshade as the coat that darkens it down, because you still get the look of the blue coming through, but it deepens the recesses, adds that touch of depth and richness to the colour, and in some cases you can have it quite shiny look to it, which if you're doing things like metals or whatever, can make it look really effective. And we're going to do the same again on the saddle of the horse. It's not really vital that you do it on this, but just to make it fit in. Okay, so that's the Drakenhof Nightshade done. Next we're going to be using the Carroburg Crimson, and as I say, that's going to be all over the areas which is reddish. So on the rider it will be the main body, and the crest on his head. And when we do the shaft of the lance, that ribbon there will be red, and we'll just give a quick going over with that, over this Carroburg Crimson, over that as well. On the horse is going to be on the areas where we painted pink. Now we could actually use a purpley colour for this as well, or not necessarily as well, but instead of the red, for doing this sinewy stuff on the horses. It gives a very similar, well, it's quite a very similar finish to it. Obviously though not the exact same colour, but makes it look quite distinctive, let's put it that way. And we go over, as I said, all the areas that's red in this, even go down to the edge of the bony areas. There are little spots here and there that need doing, try not to forget them. And this is a time when you actually find out how interesting it looks when, if you've not painted it to an exact, you know, the full coverage, we can see part of the what's the word I'm looking for? The base colour, or the prime colour, or the colour of the primer rather, showing through. It gives that little bit of an extra depth. Little bit of different shading, little bit of different colour, and makes it look that little bit different. Oh yeah, as you can see, it picks out all the details doing this. So now when we come to do the highlighting, you can see where all the raised areas are. It's wonderful, wonderful stuff, this shade. Used to use inks at one before this. They had their own inks, but they changed those to shades for some strange reason. I don't know why, but then again, saying that, I never used to use them. I just, when I first started out, it was just like a base colour I used to put on, and I said that was it. So as time has gone by, I've gone in with highlighting, and then found out about these shades, tried them, thought, oh, these are really good. But there we go. The more you do it, the more you want to improve yourself. That's the way I look at it, and that's how really it should be, I suppose. Always strive to make yourself better and better, rather than just get to one level and then stop. And so this is the Agrax Earth shade. It's the brown colour, and we're going over all the metal areas. Not really that it's, in fact we're not just going over the metal areas, we're also going over the bone areas with this as well. And that brings out all the details of the face, of the hands. You could, if you wanted, use a sepia. I can't remember what the name of the sepia one is, I haven't got that one though. But you could use the sepia colour instead of this if you wanted. There's always an alternative. You know, so just because I use this doesn't mean to say that you have to. It may come a time where I get fed up of using these colours and decide to change to something different to get that different look. You know, it will happen, it usually does. But so far I've just been happy with these ones and not bothered with any others. But I do have the Druchii Violet, which was one I was telling you is the like a nice alternative colour to using the Caribou Crimson for the sinews. And on the tissue here where it's pink. Have a look at some of my videos of when I've been painting the Dead Zone. Oh, what are they called? Plague faction. I used Caribou Crimson on some, and I used the Druchii Violet on others to get a different effect and a different look. And it give you an idea of how different it looks. You can actually use them for doing flesh as well. And green is another one to add for flesh, which I've been wanting to have a try with. Not had a chance yet to do so, but I've been thinking that a lot of artists, when they're painting flesh, will add green into the colour, because you do get quite a bit of green in a flesh colour, which you don't really notice. You think it's pink or whatever, Caucasian skin colour, Caucasian flesh colour rather. There is green in there, as well as the pinky colours and whatever. It's strange to think what actual colours go to make up another colour. But there we are. And that's the horse almost done, to be honest. All I want to do with the horse now is, when we come back after this has dried, highlight the metal areas, all the sinewy stuff, all the bone areas, and then I'll probably give the bone areas another coat of this as well once it's dried. But for now, that is all I can do, because this takes a while to dry. So while it's drying, I will say, as always, I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, take care, God bless, and bye for now.